beautiful Geminis. So Gems, we are here, of course, for your reading for September 2025. Lovely to be with you, Gem. Thank you so much for being here, being with me. Gem, in meditation, I was actually in meditation for about an hour. Sometimes I literally sit in a dark room in meditation with my eyes closed, you know, lotus position, or cross-legged on the floor. Sometimes visions, songs come to me as I'm literally preparing for a reading. And that's the way your channeling came through this time for you. I heard the song by Wilson Phillips, You're in Love. It's a little bit of a sad song, but it's got a beautiful tune. And I looked up the lyrics because I hadn't heard that for a very, very long time. And the lyrics are, you're in love, that's the way it should be, and I want you to be happy. You're in love, and I know that you're not in love with me, but it's enough to know that you're in love so I can let you go. And that's it. So Gemini, I don't know whether or not somebody has said to you, I'm so sorry, but I don't feel the same way. I don't know, Jen, whether or not you've told someone that you don't feel the same way about them, but we will find out who this is, right? Here we go, guys. This is the Melancholic Muse. If you want a private reading, if this resonates with you, my website's down below. If you want to join the channel, the link is there too. And of course, all the decks are listed. So, Gemini, are you in love with someone and you've had to tell somebody else, I'm sorry, I'm moving on, I don't feel the same? We will see. So, Archangel Michael, what do we have for my lovely Geminis? Sun, Moon, Rising and Venus. What do we have for Gemini for September 2025? I am getting a little bit of a sad energy coming through, but whoever is receiving the sad news, somebody isn't in love with them, they've accepted it, and they've accepted it graciously, and they may literally have said to the other person, okay, well, you know, I just want you to be happy. Kind of sweet, really. Oh, okay, Gems. Alrighty. Let's see what's going on, guys. Very unusual. I don't usually have songs come through, but yeah, this was for you. Okay. Ace of Cups. Okay. Gemini, you could be sat in self-love. You could be thinking, okay, I've got to let someone go. I'm almost feeling that that little girl is about to put that tea light on this body of water. I think it's a lake or a little pool, and just watch it float away. Okay, got to let this person go now. Got to let them go. Crossing that, okay, is the Tower. Aries, Scorpio energy. So Gemini, you may have had a bit of a shock, a Tower moment, that somebody said to you, I'm so sorry, Gem, I'm just not feeling that way anymore, or I don't feel that way about you. I've met someone else, and this might be you just coping with a little bit of a shock. Bless you. In the past, King of Cups, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, all right. After that time, Gem, the Sun. Gemini, there might have been enlightenment about a King of Cups. Either, Gemini, if I'm connecting with the feminine, you met a King of Cups in the past, you fell in love, and you had to tell someone, I am so sorry, but this is over because I love somebody else. And this is you simply understanding it was a shock for that person. Or Gemini, if you're a masculine, it may well be that if you were in a traditional relationship, the woman that you were with said to you, I am so sorry, but I've met this man. He lives at a distance, maybe, and this is over. And this is you thinking, wow, okay, well, I still have feelings for this person, but I do want them to be happy. Sitting in a very mature energy, Gem, maybe as a masculine, even though deep down you're dealing with a shock, okay? What you're thinking about, Gem, is the King of Pentacles. Gemini, as a masculine, if you're married, you may have decided to stay legally married, but to separate. If you're a feminine Gemini, you're hoping that this King of Cups is going to be your next King of Pentacles. This guy is going to actually commit to you. In the immediate future, the Death card. Okay, Scorpio. Gemini, you could be thinking of a Scorpio masculine. Or you're realizing, Gemini, that from this point on, everything is going to change because of this revelation. In your fears, the Page of Pentacles. Gemini, whoever is splitting from somebody else, detaching from the other person, is maybe worried about telling children. You've got to tell the kids at some point, oh my gosh, you know, it's going to be difficult for them. Or Gemini, are you afraid, if you're the one being let down, that your person's going to come running back to you to say, Olive Branch, I'm sorry, and sort of emotionally mess you around? You could be worried. In the environment is the Ten of Wands. The person in your environment, Gemini, is very stressed. I think they're dealing with a lot of pressure. They're dealing with, I'm hearing, upset. So, Gemini, I think you are potentially telling someone here that a relationship is over. Now, whether or not you're telling a child or whether or not you're the one that's moving forward with somebody else, the person in your environment is feeling very burdened. In your hopes, Gem, Nine of Cups. You're hoping for a wish come true, and the outcome is the Chariot. Cancerian energy. Somebody could be heading towards a Cancerian masculine. Or Gemini, there may be a delay in you two splitting. So this could be one of you saying to the other person, I'm so sorry, I don't feel the same way anymore. I'm not in love with you. Please forgive me, but I'm thinking of building a life with somebody else. And then we have the Chariot, but the Chariot is stock still in that image. The Chariot isn't moving anywhere. So Gemini, this could be a situation where your person decides to patch things up with you. If they are the one that admitted they weren't in love with you anymore, they may be saying, well, because of kids or, you know, the situation we're in, or elderly parents, whatever this is, I don't think I'm ready to leave. It could be difficult for you, Gem. This would in effect be your partner saying, I don't love you anymore, but I'm not wanting to leave the house. Or Gem, you may have dropped a bombshell on someone and you may be heading off, preparing to head off with someone that you're in love with. But this is you sort of deliberating at the last minute, I think. Let's carry on. Clarification for you, Knight of Cups. A lot of love and a lot of romance, sweet words. But then we have the Ten of Swords. Wow. Gemini, that's almost the energy of, I have feelings for you, but I'm so sorry we have to end it because I'm not in love anymore. I deeply love you as a friend, or we've been together for 20 odd years or longer than that. There are a lot of memories. We've had a wonderful time, but my feelings have shifted. So this might be a little painful. This is somebody, Gemini, who is almost putting the other person in the friend zone. I will always love you as my best friend, but I'm not in love anymore. I want to be with somebody else. And it's a challenging time emotionally, you know. So whoever is feeling weighed down, burdened. Oh, Okay, Seven of Swords. This might be someone feeling regret. They may have stepped out on you, Gemini, you're ending it, and they can't believe it. They might have thought that you would forgive them. Okay, Gem. Wow, Ace of Pentacles. This is someone way down, because this is someone, I feel, Gemini, who is leaving. I think this is the person that's leaving. Because this is someone carrying a load of suitcases, right? This is someone who may be moving in with somebody else, or saying to you, I need some time, I need some space. But there was an affair in the past. So Gemini, that kind of makes sense. Because this is you hanging on to sort of self-love after a tower moment where somebody relayed to you that they had an affair with somebody else, they're in love with somebody else, and they're leaving. And this is you thinking to yourself, oh my goodness, right? Now this could be you thinking my person's leaving me for a Cancerian or a Scorpio King of Cups, okay? Or you, Gemini, could be dealing with a King of Cups, and there was enlightenment that this King of Cups stepped out and had a relationship with somebody else. I believe what you're thinking about, Gemini, is my person said, I will always love you as a friend, but I'm sorry, this is over. And you feel betrayed. You're dealing with an ending. You're dealing with a big change in the immediate future, Gemini. This could be a rather awkward conversation. Who is going to leave? The Chariot, right? Okay, who's going to leave the family home? Who's going to leave the family home? Or are you two in the future wondering whether or not you could reconcile this? Because you may be afraid of breaking the news to children. There could be kids involved. Let's have a look. Underneath the deck, we have, gosh, all right, we have the Ace of Wands. We have the Ace of Wands. Somebody had an affair. King of Swords. Three of Cups. Moon, Cancerian energy. Wow. That's fear. So guys, I've got to be honest here. I think, Gemini, you are the King of Swords, a Gemini masculine. And I think you've had a tower moment because your person has said, I'm in love with somebody else, I'm leaving. Now we do have three kings on the board. We have the King of Cups, the King of Pentacles, and the King of Swords, okay? So this could be a same-sex connection. You could have adopted children and you two are potentially parting ways. Or it could well be this is a traditional relationship, as in masculine, feminine. And what we're looking at is you as a masculine Gemini finding out that your female partner had an affair with a King of Cups who she is hoping to marry. And you may also be thinking of you sat in the King of Pentacles. You may still be married to this woman. You're thinking, well, do we separate? Do we move straight into divorce? I don't quite know how this is going to work. Let's see where this goes. So Archangel Michael, tell us about the Ace of Cups and the Tower. This is a bit of a shock, Gemini. My Gemini masculines, I think that's where we're going with this. Yeah, you are heartbroken. You're coming through as the King of Swords. Okay. What you're thinking about is, whilst your back was turned, your partner had a fling on you, and you're only just now realizing that actually this was quite a serious relationship. This was not just a one-night stand. Your partner fell in love with somebody else. What else do we have, please, for Gemini? The Six of Swords. All right, Gems, you are heartbroken, but you've accepted this and you're trying to move yourself to a place of peace and calm. You're trying to sort of just get your head around this. Seven of Wands, but you are a little defensive. That's only natural because this was a shock for you. Tell us about your partner. Wow, the Queen of Cups. Okay. So Gemini, it seems that you found that your Queen of Cups had an affair on you, fell in love with somebody else. And what she's saying is, I'm sorry, but we have to end this. I love you, but I'm not in love with you anymore. We have to end this. What are you thinking about? Yeah, wow. That your Queen of Cups, a Pisces, Cancer or Scorpio feminine, is in love with another man. And I feel, to be honest, Gemini, that other man is the King of Cups. So these two, I hate to say it, are a true pair. The woman that you're married to, have been living with for maybe many years, is in love with her true counterpart, okay, the King of Cups. I think the Sun represented enlightenment in the immediate past, that something was going on. Something was going on. Let's have a look at the King of Cups energy. This is when you realised that your Queen of Cups was interested in this King of Cups. Okay, Eight of Wands, you might have caught your Queen of Cups passionately messaging this King of Cups. Maybe arranging to meet, Gemini, and there was an argument. Yep, not surprised. Five of Wands. And you may not have known what to do, Gemini, but you may initially have said to your partner, I just can't speak to you right now. I can't talk to you about this now. I need to just get my mind settled. So you two may not have spoken. You may immediately have headed off and spent a week or so on your own thinking about this. You may have booked into a local B&B or gone to stay with a friend of yours. You were wrapping your head around this. So there was enlightenment with the Sun that your Queen of Cups met another man, Gemini. Four of Swords, yeah. And you took yourself off to think about the consequences of this. Yes, this was your wife, Empress. She could have Taurus and or Libra in her chart. You two may have a child or children. Yeah, what you were realizing was she either met this man online or she met this man at a distance, and she wants to close the cycle out. This is what happened in the immediate past. Now, Gemini, this could have been a couple of months ago. It could have been a few days ago. How are you feeling in the immediate past? Angry. Knight of Swords. Yeah, angry. Angry. You may have been together for a long time. You may think, Gemini, you did nothing to deserve this. You know, you were a faithful husband, faithful partner. You might have thought, okay, King of Pentacles, King of Swords, I was wrapped up in my career, wrapped up in my work, thinking about the financial stability of this rather than being loving, just putting it out there. You may have looked back and thought, yeah, okay, yeah. You are thinking about the King of Pentacles. Now, either, Gemini, you're thinking, well, we are still married, right? So you would be embodying the King of Swords energy and the King of Pentacles energy. You may be wondering whether or not your Queen of Cups wants to actually divorce, or whether or not you two could comfortably live separately and just leave it at that. Or you may be thinking, does this King of Cups want to marry my wife And in which case we have to sort out the financials because she's going to be asking for a divorce. Ah, Gem. I just felt a wave of emotion. Tell us about the King of Pentacles. Yeah. Six of Cups. Gemini, you may have thought that you would be with this woman until the end of your days. That you two would never part. You might have had ups and downs in the relationship. You may have had arguments, issues you two had to get over. I think you're still in a bit of shock, Gemini. You may be flicking through your old wedding album. You may be looking at photographs going 20, 30 years back for some of you. Two of Pentacles. You may be wondering what decision she's going to make. Or you may be thinking about a child who could be a water sign child and thinking, okay, at some point we have to tell this child of ours that we are getting divorced. You may be thinking about the financial stability of your children. It's going to affect them. If we spend thousands on a divorce and we have to sell the house and divide the proceeds, it's going to affect their inheritance, right? Their financial stability in the future. Yeah, you're thinking about the Five of Pentacles. That your children are going to be affected financially. Eight of Swords, and you're in your head about that. You may be wondering, Page of Cups, whether or not you should apologise to your wife for not giving her the attention, the love that she needed. If you know, Gemini, that your head was in your work, your head was in your finances, you weren't very loving and affectionate, you may feel as if, out of a sense of desperation and loneliness, she fell into the arms of a King of Cups, who of course is the absolute opposite of the King of Swords. This is someone very affectionate, very romantic, very sort of tactile, all about love, you know. You may be wondering, if I apologise, could the two of us come back together again? So my gems, in the immediate future, you're thinking about the Death card. Now this masculine could be a Scorpio that your Queen of Cups is leaving you for. Or what you're thinking about is, this is going to completely change our lives. You may even be in the autumn or winter of your lives. And what you're thinking about is, I'm going to be on my own as I get a lot older. And this is you thinking, well, I assumed that we would look after each other as we got older. Obviously, that's not going to happen now. I'm going to be by myself, right? If it makes you feel any better, Gemini, your Queen of Cups is feeling really, really burdened. She feels as if she should be the one to leave, to be honest. So she's trying to do the right thing. She's not going to boot you out of the house, Gemini, because she's the one that cheated. She's the one that wants you two to part. She is thinking about the fact that she cheated on you, and she's thinking about the fact that she should leave. But she is very, very stressed. This might be her changing her mind. This is a woman who feels a lot of guilt, remorse, regret. She's carrying a lot of pain and baggage about this. Your back is turned, Gemini. What you're looking at is, oh my God, she said she's in love with another man. That's all you can think about. So Archangel Michael, when do we have the Death card and the Ten of Wands for my Geminis? Thank you, Michael. I'm hearing the 1st to the 12th of November is decision time. Okay. You may feel you want to make a decision before Christmas to get everything settled. And that would be your Queen of Cups saying to you, okay, I'm going to leave and I found somewhere to move into. I don't get the impression she is planning on moving in with this King of Cups, because with the Sun, he may actually live a long way away. He may even live in another country. it may not be practical. So she may be thinking, okay, I've got to move out. It may well be this is decision time pertaining to telling the children or your child. It might be you two having a serious discussion. Do we legally separate? Do we move straight into divorce? So can we have the thoughts, the feelings, the emotions of Gemini's Queen of Cups? Your partner, Gemini, who cheated on you, who is leaving. What's her energy? Temperance. She may be thinking of a Sagittarian. What's on her mind? The Queen of Pentacles. Yeah, King and Queen of Pentacles. Gemini, she may be thinking about the stability of the marriage. She may be wandering around her home, feeling a little emotional. She may be thinking, well, I know I'm in love with another man, but I've been in this home for so long. It's going to feel very strange to leave. She might be wandering out into the garden, looking at roses, you know, late in the evening. Do I want to leave all this? What else is she thinking about here? The Emperor. Gemini, I've got to say this, guys, despite maybe feeling that this marriage might have been much more about stability than love, you may have been very strong in your opinions in the marriage. You may have wanted to take control and things were done your way. Maybe despite that, Gemini, you've been a loyal, faithful husband. You've always been there for your wife, for your partner, and you've always held the family sort of together. She's thinking about that. She's thinking about that. What else is she thinking about? She may feel, looking back, Gemini, that you sacrificed quite a lot for your family. It may be financial. It could be you put your dreams, desires, you know, maybe to travel, maybe to live in a beautiful property on the back burner, or you may have just let your dreams dissolve because you wanted your children to have a good life. She could be thinking, Gemini, of a Pisces. Could be a Pisces child. Queen of Wands. She could be thinking also of a fire sign child. Or Gemini, what she's thinking about is you sacrificed for the family whilst she had an affair with another man. There's a lot of guilt here. There's a lot of guilt here. Gemini, the Magician. Yeah. There was you, Gemini, faithful partner and husband, sacrificing for your family, right? Whereas she was manifesting having an affair on you. She feels incredibly guilty. What else is she considering here? Yeah, she's considering balancing the situation out. Interesting. Or she could be thinking about your contract, your actual marriage. Does she want to stay legally married or does she want to divorce? Yeah. Eight of Cups. Do I walk away from my marital contract? Do I divorce? Or do we just part and live separately? She's got a lot on her mind, Gem. I'm not making excuses for her. She knows what she did. But she's very stressed out because what she's realizing is the consequences of telling you she's in love with another man. Because Gemini, you're devastated, right? I think you've accepted it. Tower, right? Ace of Cups. Oh my God, my wife is in love with another man. Shock, heartbreak. You're thinking from this point on, everything changes. So let's have a look at the Death card. What are you thinking about, my Geminis, my Gemini masculines? The Five of Swords. The Three of Wands. Gemini, what you're thinking about is she sabotaged your ships coming in together in the future. As in, you two sat in a financially stable place, in a lovely family home, your children around you or your children nearby. She sabotaged your future life. And you're angry. What else are you thinking about? The Strength card. You're thinking how you're going to manage, how will you manage pertaining to your health as you get older? Who's going to be there to look after you, right? If you're in your 50s or 60s and your wife's headed off to be with another man and you're left on your own, I don't know where your children are in the world, Gemini, but what you're thinking about is, I'm not going to have anyone to take care of me. I don't think at this point, Gemini, you're considering meeting somebody else. You may do, obviously, in the future. Two of Wands. What you're also thinking about, Gemini, is it's probably going to be up to you to sort out legalities, documents, maybe rewriting your will, inheritance for your kids. What you're thinking about is it's going to take a lot of effort. And it's not going to be a pleasant thing you're doing here because you're doing this heartbroken. What else are you considering? That maybe, Gemini, with the Six of Pentacles, your children will feel breadcrumbed financially if you two actually divorce, because thousands will be swallowed in lawyers' fees. Yeah, you're thinking about the Ten of Pentacles. We're going to have to split the Ten of Pentacles, and our children are the ones who are going to suffer. Gemini, I'm dealing with a masculine Gemini who is very thoughtful, very compassionate, very caring. Because what it seems to me, Gemini, is you're not thinking about yourself very much in this. You're thinking of your children. How it's going to affect your children, right? We have a child here. What else is on your mind? Nine of Wands. You're tired, Gemini. On top of everything else, you may be feeling your age. You may be tempted to try and hang on to your Queen of Cups. What is interesting is, Gemini, both of you have a lot on your mind. Your Queen of Cups is feeling burdened. She's wandering out into the rose garden, having a look at her beautiful garden, her roses, going back into her house, you know, looking around, thinking, wow, I'm going to have to be the one to leave because I was the one that cheated. Okay. You're thinking about your children's inheritance. You're both really burdened. What is the energy between you two? The energy. Yeah, the Nine of Swords. Both of you are getting older and you're both having sleepless nights about how this is managed going forward. Gemini, what you're hoping is that your Queen of Cups is going to walk away from being overindulgent. You see her leaving you, leaving the family as overindulgent, because it's going to bring a lot of pain and upset to the children. It's going to affect their financial future, and it's going to leave you on your own as you get a lot older. You see this move, her leaving you as overindulgent. The final card, Gemini, is the Chariot. Now, there could be a very significant conversation with a Cancerian. Now, this Queen of Cups could be a Cancerian, your wife, or with the energy of the Chariot, there may be a conversation along the lines of, are we doing the right thing? Emotions are emotions, but from what I can see here, Gemini, this is a very strong family dynamic with deep roots. You two may have been together for many, many years, children in the mix, investments. You might have lived in a lovely home for a couple of decades. This could be you two at the last minute saying to each other, okay, hang on. Are we doing the right thing? What are you saying to your Queen of Cups, Gemini? What are you saying? Okay, Knight of Wands. Tell us about the Knight of Wands. The Page of Swords. Gemini, this is very interesting because what you're saying to your wife is, okay, before we make this major decision, I've got to be really honest with you. I stepped out once in our relationship. It was fleeting. Knight of Wands, it was a one-night stand, right? Page of Swords. I did it too. Gemini, that's very big of you to admit that, because you could be holding your head high, putting all the blame on your wife because she cheated on you. This is you having the courage, Gemini, to look at your wife and say to your wife, I am so sorry, but I did step out once in the marriage. Now, that might have been 10 years ago, but you're admitting it. What is your wife saying to you? Four of Pentacles. She may be saying to you, Gemini, is that why you held back from me? Is that why we weren't physical very much? Is that why you haven't been affectionate towards me? Because you were thinking of somebody else? What are you going to say to your wife? Eight of Pentacles. You might have had a fling with somebody at work, Gemini. You may say, oh, she was just a woman at work, but that was a long time ago. Gem, are you also going to go on to say to your wife that you want to work on the marriage? I mean, is this a reconciliation conversation? Ace of Swords. Why do I feel, Gemini, your wife is saying, I would consider staying, despite the fact that I know I'm in love with another man. I would consider staying, maybe for the sake of children, property, money, whatever this is, if we started all over again. I mean, this would be a massive change for both of you. Selling the old house, living somewhere completely different. I mean, what she's saying is, if I agreed to that, and if you're happy to bring me back into your heart, you know, really work on this, then I think we need a massive change. I think that's what she's saying. Is that right? Yes. We need to move forward in a brand new cycle. A brand new cycle. Four of Wands. Into another property. Yes. Okay. I would consider this. What are you saying to your partner, Gemini? Whew, got a wave of emotion. You may be saying to your partner, well, it'll be very good news for our children. Page, right? Page energy, Page of Wands. It could be, Gemini, what you're saying to her is, that's really good news. Okay, that's really good news. You'd consider that. So guys, are we talking reconciliation? How is this going to work out? Knight of Pentacles. I think, Gemini, you are going to clear up the past with your partner. You two may end up having a series of really serious conversations. Could be about finances. Could be about starting all over again. Building a new foundation. You may even decide to sell your house and build a property somewhere completely different. Let's sell our traditional home and buy a really modern flat overlooking the sea. I mean, I don't know. But Gemini, you are fully on board. You're fully on board. What are you thinking about? Gosh, Gem, I'm feeling really tearful. Good. We can bring our family back together again. We can bring our family back together again. Anything else? The High Priestess. What you're also thinking about, Gemini, is you want to keep this roller coaster of a situation quiet from your children. I don't know why I'm feeling that. The High Priestess keeps a secret, 10 of Cups. You may feel that if one of your children is a water sign, she already intuited that you two had split, but you don't know for sure because neither of you have mentioned anything. You behaved very normally with your children up until this point of time. Do we have a final card for my Geminis? Yeah, the Hierophant. Taurian energy. Gemini, this is really beautiful. This is you two patching up your marriage. At some point, you may even be renewing your vows. I think this is you two pulling together and making this work, but with the understanding that you're going to be building a new life. And I feel that involves, with the Four of Wands and the Wheel of Destiny, the Wheel of Fortune, moving forward into a new cycle, moving into a different property. I can see a lot of water here. You may be deciding to purchase an apartment overlooking a body of water. You're doing something very, very different. You may even be deciding to build somewhere, have somewhere built with a lovely view. So, final card, what is going to happen to the King of Cups? Because your wife is obviously going to have to tell her lover that she's not leaving you anymore. You're patching things up. The Lovers, wow. I think, Gemini, your wife is going to have an emotional goodbye, to be honest, with her lover, with the King of Cups. She's going to say to him that she had to make a very difficult choice with the Lovers, and she has chosen, Gemini, to work things out with you. The Lovers is your Gemini energy. It may also be, Gem, that in the fullness of time, in the next few months maybe, you too are going to get back the passion. Beautiful. So, Gem, an emotional reading for one or two of you. Do let me know in the comments below if this was your story. Take care of you guys, and of course, I'll be back before you know it with your next set of readings. See you soon, Gem. Bye now.